Well, hello, my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and I am so glad that you're here. I'm excited, as usual. I hope you've had a great couple of weeks. I hope you enjoyed the projects that I've left for you, and that beautiful prayer shawl surprise. I hope you gave it a try, too. Well, how are you? Well, I'm doing great. The weather's a little strange. We go from, okay, it's going to be cold, and then it's going to be 70. It's going to be cold, and then it's going to be 60. But I know that some of you are really cold. 18 inches of snow, or more in some places, I guess. Well, it's been a long time since I've seen that, or, or been involved with that. But at least, like I said, we're here, we're safe, we're comfortable, and I have things to share. And I'm glad you're here. Well, even though it was a long project, I just so enjoyed finally sharing my third style of sweater with you. Jay's Free as a Bird sweater or vest. And from the comments and the views and all the things that you've said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so glad that you not only like the sweater, like the idea, and I believe by like I said, the comments and the views, that you're actually giving it a try. And I mean, what could be better than that? Except, Jay, what else we had? What are we doing next? Well, that was such a long one. And like I say, now that I've got pretty much everything kind of out, or a lot of it, on video, now it will be a lot easier. And I believe it will flow a lot better and a lot faster, because now I have something to reference or tell you, you can check this or watch that. But as I was getting ready, like I said, I have a lot to share. And as I was getting ready, I know a lot of people were going to Vogue Week and all of that. And Jay couldn't do all that. But I looked around and I said, oh my gosh, I got my Vogue knitting books. I have my Vogue knitting stitcheraries. I have 2 or 3 of these. Of course, the the one that's really hard to find is the lace one. And if you go on Amazon or some of the other sites, people know that, and I'm telling you, they have ratcheted the price up to $100 to $200. So someone that has a copy, they apparently know the value of that book, that one particular book of Vogue Knitting Stitchery. I don't know what volume it is, but it's the lace one. But anyway, I have 2 or 3. So anyway, so now I thought, okay, so now we've done a nice long one. We've got a lot of information out there now. I have a lot of information for for not only the experienced knitter, the advanced knitter, but those that are looking to move up. Like I say, I'm in no wise an expert or a super advanced knitter. I'm just an everyday person just like you, who just got tired of knitting the same things and wanted to knit something more than just, everyday things. And so I started knitting sweaters. Now, I had to, I had to keep trying. It wasn't like an overnight thing. I had to keep trying, and I had to keep tweaking. And you will have to do that too. But once you find your numbers, as long as we stay in the same category of yarn and use mainly the same needle size, you can just continue to knit and use the same numbers. And that's all I'm sharing. Well, next, like I said, since the last video was really a nice tutorial because I really wanted to get a lot of information in, now I want to slow it down and just kind of relax. And I wanted to find a nice simple stitch. It's not an advanced stitch, but there's you have to pay attention. It's a good skill building stitch. And look where I found it, in my Vogue Knitting Stitchery. And this is volume 6. So let me turn to it right quick and just show you the stitch that I'm going to share with you, and then I'll share the project. And I'm going to tilt it up a little bit. This is on page, if you have this book, it's on page 70. It's stitch number 92, and they call it Argyle. And it is it's a very nice stitch. It's simple, but it's, like I say, it's a skill building stitch to be able to, there's a lot of flipping going on. But I thought it would be nice to make, and to make a nice simple project and give you a little rest, but yet, I remember in my painting days when we used to have to do shows, we'd have little things that we could do to paint that looked very high end, but if you were a painter, you only had to do a few little scroll lines or a few little flowers, or you speckle it with a toothbrush and some paint, and then you put a few little dots here and there, and people just thought, oh my gosh, but it was real simple to us. So this is kind of what this is. It's just, I thought it would be a nice one to share, and we can just kind of slow it down now and enjoy this next project. And the name of this project, I'm just going to call it Jay's Knit. Remember the good times. What do you think of that? And that's exactly what I want it to be. A remembrance of the good times. And even though maybe you don't have any good times right now, maybe, things, don't worry. Good times will come back again. So, in the meantime, we can enjoy and share this stitch and this beautiful wrap that I'm going to share with you. I think you're going to like it. All right, let me clear this up. And I've shown you the stitch. Now, let's talk about some yarn. I'm going to move right along because I want to get right into it. That's one reason I didn't get on camera, because I'd get to talking too much. So let me keep it going. Back in a minute. Okay. Well, of course, this is another stash busting project. I looked around in my stash. This is some yarns that I buy, and I'm pretty sure these are yarns that you buy also. Like I say, I use big box store yarn because I knit such large projects, and and when I was learning, this is how I started. And of course, once I got got it down and really came up with a system and how to do my sweaters. So now I don't feel bad anytime I want to go to the knit shop and buy a higher quality yarn, because I already know how to figure out my numbers, how to work the sweater or whatever. And so this is a good way to start and to kind of see, you know, the kind of things you can make, and then you can progress as you need to. Like I say, if you look in your stash, I looked in my stash, and of course I have a lot of this line brand's Heartland yarn. It comes in a lot of beautiful colors. Very nice, soft, and has a little hint of a sheen to it. You know, not like a high sheen, but you can feel it. Really pretty, knits up nice. They call for a number 9, and I always wonder, it's a medium weight, and they always call for a number 9, size number 9 U.S. Knitting needles. But I have used it now on number 8s too, and it knits up into a nice fabric too. But we are going to be using a U.S. number 9, and I'll get to that. But anyway, here's a yarn that you probably have in your stash. So let's go through a few of them real quick, and you probably will find even more. I'm trying to pick a yarn for this project that's not heavyweight like my banner. My banner is more for my sweaters and heavy projects like that. Now I want to come down as we start, even though the weather's crazy. But we know spring is eventually going to come. And so as I started kind of going through, I'm looking for a lighter weight yarn. And I'm going to use a number 9 to make the fabric more, to make it more drapey and to keep the fabric loose. So here's this. And I don't even know what color this is. Grand Canyon. So that's one. One of the next ones that I really love, and this, one of the wraps is I made out of this was Red Heart Soft. Red Heart Soft. Now this is the only Red Heart that I don't use any of the others for my sweat, you know, for things, for garments. But this one has a sheen to it, has a softness. I like it as much as Caron Simply Soft. It just doesn't come in as many colors as Caron Simply Soft. But for the yarn, it's a very nice yarn. Knits up beautiful. So Red Heart Soft, and any color you want. This is just teal. A yarn that I found in my stash. Remember when our Hancocks closed in our area? Well, of course, I kept, little by little, I kept going back and forth as the sale got, you know, as they reduced the prices more. And I would pick up all kind of things. Well, I picked up a bunch of woolies. And I thought, you know, I haven't used woolies yet. And I had a bag of a few colors and that I picked up during that sale. But this would be a good one. I think it would drape real pretty. Like I said, there's wool in here. I'm just not a fan of wool. I know you're going to probably, oh my gosh. Yes, there are people that just do not like the feel of wool, people. It just has a funny feel to me. You know, even just this little bit amount in this woolies, it just, you know. But I bought it anyway, and like I said, I have several colors, and we will use some. But it's not one that I normally gravitate to. But there it is. If you have some in your stash to keep from going out buying new yarn, this will work for this project. That's all I'm trying to share. We're trying to find things in your stash that will work. You will probably need 3 skeins of any of these that I'm showing you. It's best to have at least 3 on hand. And last but not least, the one that I'm going to show you the sample in just a minute is this Loops and Thread Impeccable. Now, I caught a sale, you know, a year or so back when I was backing up some yarn on a video. And this Impeccable, it's cheap and all that. If I can help it, I try not to. I don't use this for what I'd call my nice design sweaters. I would keep Impeccable because, you know, even I have a little standard, people. You know, for wraps or you know, things like that. But I was surprised, and you're going to see the sample that I knit up in. I use this impeccable, and this is like a soft taupe color. It's real pretty, and the more I worked with it, the softer it got, and so maybe once I wash it, it might get softer. But it wouldn't be one that if I was going to make a nice sweater that I would just run to. You know, I have other yarns that I would pick over this one. But like me, I know that you have some of this in your stash because a lot of you have made all kind of, you know, other things with it. Hats or scarves or whatever. Some neck cowls or, but I'm going to use it. I'm trying to find or design things to use up what we have to be able to just pick in there. So that's what I'm doing. So now let me move all of this. I've given you some examples and you can check your stash. There may be others that you may find. After I show you the project, you might say, oh, I've got 3 skeins of such and such. I'm going to try it, Jay, just to get rid of it. So let me clear this up and then I'll show you the project. I like to give you an overview so that you'll know exactly where we're going and how we're going to make the project. Back in a minute. Okay, for an overview of how this wrap looks and how I put it together. Like I said, first of all, didn't the color turn out really pretty? It's like I said, it's a soft taupe, and the more I worked with it, the softer it got. But like if I was really going to use this yarn, like I said, I have a lot of it. I really think it works beautiful for wraps and ponchos and things like that. So I will be able to dig into my stash on down the road as, you know, as I think of other projects in this line. But for this one, this is Jay's Knit Remember the Good Times wrap. It's a lace wrap, and as you can see, let's see which side is that I can see the lace on this side. All right, let me move it. Let me walk you through it first. Okay, we have beautiful lace edge. In fact, why don't I go ahead and turn it in the way that we will knit this project. Okay, of course, like I say, it's one large rectangle, and you will start on the very bottom edge. It's like, I'm going to move in just a little bit. Okay, it's like a pretty lace flounce on the bottom edge of this really pretty rectangle. And it's the Argyle pattern I just shared with you. And when I saw it, looking at the pictures of my birds, and at the birds, you know, as inspiration, I thought they looked like winter twigs or winter leaves on, you know, for that winter scene. And with this color, it really does look winter. So, for me, and I did come up with some numbers again. I did some calculations just to help you find a place to start or give you an idea, maybe, you know, to try to see if you can, if some of the numbers will work for you. Like I say, it's mainly just a lot of knitting in a straight rectangle, so hopefully it will help you. But for me, I did a repeat of this Argyle pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're taller, you may have to do 5, or if you just want a longer, wider flounce at the bottom lace, you can do as many repeats as you want. I did 4. And then once I finished the lace for the number of repeats, and this is about 5 inches. So, if this is about 5 inches, then you need to do your stockinette. This section in here we call the body. Remember, I said we were going to have step 1, which is the edging, whether it's ribbing or a lace. Step 2 is working the body of my projects, and this one is stockinette. So a beginner, this is a good way to learn tension and just trying to get the feel of knitting on the right side, purling on the back side. And if I did 5 inches for the lace, then this should be about 10 inches here to make it just uniform and look pretty. And of course, and then when I got to what I would call the top, we didn't have to do any kind of sleeves or anything, so I just skipped over step 3, went right to step 4, which is the collar or the top of the sweater or wrap, and I went right into a 1x1 ribbing, because that's usually my favorite ribbing, because I just find it for, you know, since I do a large or an extra large size, it doesn't pull in as much as a 2x2. But, you know, you can always change it if you like a 2x2 ribbon. It's up to you. But I did that for the top edge to form this beautiful roll back, nice little collar trim. And if you look right on the edge, at the very end, I did a crochet, just picked up my crochet hook and put a little edging on there, just to give it that, I don't know, a nicer look. And I thought that would kind of, you know, let's start trying to pull in a little more crocheting. A few of the sweaters I'm going to do after this will have some crocheting, a little crocheting on there too. And so I'm trying to, of course, I'm working on some more crocheted items. I know everybody's waiting, but I had to get this out because it was the next thing I wanted to get done. So, as you can see, a simple idea, a simple stitch with a simple rectangle, some beautiful pins, some beautiful buttons, a nice roll collar, and then I have something else to show you. I'll take this one up, and I have one more sample to show you of how I used it. So, you know, back in the day, I used to have a lot of pins, and that pin was so pretty. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have a leaf pin. Can you see it? Let me put it on camera. Isn't that pretty? And then, of course, you will need, I put on a couple of buttons just to kind of hold the front if you wanted it closed. But then you have to come up with a way to kind of hold the button. And I made this little button closure out of just some beads and a little gold. Let's see, well, I guess I should have had something to back that, shouldn't I? I don't know if I have any paper or anything. I don't know if that's going to hold it or not. I didn't think of that. But as you can see, I'm just calling it a button closure. It's just some chain I bought at Michael's with some beads. You know, that I add my own little beads and a little, one of those little clasps. And you can simply put it right over the button. Let's see if I'm on camera. Just like that. And it becomes a really cute and interesting, just a way to kind of hold, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, just to kind of hold your buttons in place with a little added accent. What do you think of that? Okay, I have one other little sample that I want to share with you because, well, let me get it and then I'll tell you what happened. Because, you know, sometimes things happen. Okay. I want to show you this one that I use, the Lions brand Heartland. I think it's Grand Canyon. Yeah, Grand Canyon color. And it was so pretty. And I was making it for a friend. And I really didn't think I'd have time to do the whole shawl because I was trying to get this video up. I'm trying, you know, February is a short month. So I asked her, would she like more like a neck shawl? More, you know, not all over the shoulders. The first one is definitely a shoulder type shawl, you know. But the idea that I had to share with her was, you know, would you like something really nice around your neck, but has that shawl or the lace or the flounce look? And so we put our heads together, and so I came up with this. Like I say, same pattern, same everything. Started at the bottom, started with the lace, worked the same number of rows. I worked 4 repeats, 1, 2, 3, 4 repeats, and then I'm up to almost about 10 rows of stockinette. Hadn't quite reached it yet, but I was getting close. So as I stopped to do this video, and to make it more like a neck shawl, I'm not going to put the 1x1 ribbing. I decided to simply continue in stockinette to about 10 inches, and then just simply bind off. And you know what that creates? That creates this beautiful neck roll. Now I'm going to turn it and put it like she would wear it. Let's see, can I get it in line on the... Of course, my needle is in it, so I can't make it lay as pretty as if I had bound off. Let's get the back. There's the back. There's the back going across. Here's the pretty neck. Here's a pretty roll. Look at that flounce. Look at that lace. I'm telling you, this Heartland just, and when after you steam it, it's like, oh my gosh, for the kind of yarn we're using. And so now, like I say, it's on the needle, so I can't lay it out really straight. Let me back just a little bit, just so you can see the lace. Now look at that. And let's find a pin or something we could put on it just to make it look pretty. So you can kind of see how it would look with a pin on it. Okay, we can add something there. Let's see, can I pull back? Okay, or we can add something there. Let's see if that'll show up. It's not showing up as much as I like for it to. Let me pull it down a little bit. But you can add any kind of accessory on the side. It's exactly the same pattern. I use the same numbers. But I decided not to go all the way to the 1x1 ribbing for the collar, but simply to end it with the stockinette, bind off on a knit row, and you know what happens. Once you bind off, it just rolls back on itself. So now I have to make me one because I love this one too. And you can see, of course, by the time the video goes up, I'll be done with it, and you get to see the actual pictures, and you can see how pretty it really is. That this one really is just a simple, I'll move back a little bit now. I call it a simple neck shawl with this pretty flounce coming over. It doesn't go all the way to your shoulders. It just hugs your neck with this lace coming down each side. What do you think of that? And this one you don't have to add any buttons because it'll roll. Now I can add some pretty fringe on the bottom edge if I'd like, or a tassel or something. I hadn't decided until I get to, this is the one I'm working in real time. This is the one that I was working in real time, you know, to show you what I was doing, exactly how the stitch is worked. And then before I knew it, I had already finished it. So I have to do another little sample. I got a little piece of sample to work with. But I still have my needles in this one so that I could show you about the, that I was not going to take it all the way up to the 1x1 ribbing. Isn't that pretty? And that's that simple, in your stash, in your face. Some of that Heartland yarn from Line Brand. And they have some really nice colors. Just see this in another color. I should have pulled out some of the other colors I have. There's a pink and there's a deep green. There's like a hun. Oh, they have lots of pretty colors. There's a blue, a couple of different blues, a couple of different pinks. Voila. So, more for your money. Out of your own stash. Well, there's nothing else to do now but tell you about my size chart. Just to kind of give you an idea, I even put down working formulas just to help you, because now that you're on board, I'm, you know, and you figured out some numbers, or at least some of them are working for you, but you're going to have to tweak just like I had to tweak. And you just keep tweaking, but you keep your numbers consistent. They need to be divisible by 4 at the end just to make your life easier. So, let me clear this up. I will put the size chart idea on the screen. Then we will start to knit. I am using a US number 9. And I'll make sure I bring that out too, show you all of that. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Let's go. Okay, so before we get started, as I said, I put not only the argyle stitch, lace stitch on the screen, I also put up some more information, so that you could see it before we actually start to stitch. And just to remind you, this stitch is a multiple of 10 stitches plus 3. There's 6 rows, and the reason I like it so much is because all the wrong side or the even number rows are purl, just purl across, which makes it a lot easier to invite, newer stitchers, newer knitters to hopefully try this project. Okay, and I used a number 9, US number 9. I have a 48 inch, but if you can't find a 48, they're hard to find. Remember, I caught the sale at Tuesday morning. A 36 will probably do just as well. If you're new, I don't want you to go out trying to go out and. This is not about about buying all this just stuff. See what you have. If you don't have it, then of course try to find a coupon. And a 9, US 9 36 will probably work just fine too. It will just be more scrunched up if you can't find a 48. But this is just to get your feet wet, just to give you a chance to try it. So that's the needle that I'm using. Now on the screen, right before this, I went ahead and laid out some working formulas. I'm going to do the large, extra large size. And I simply just did math formulas to about how many repeats. I tried it on, I put it around my neck. I tried different repeats. And 17 repeats of this pattern. 17 of these repeats of this pattern was just right, or a nice size for me, for the large to extra large size. So using the math system, I went back and I figured that a small to a medium size, 15 pattern repeats. And I gave the formula. You can go back, you can just click back a little bit. You'll see the working formula for that size. Then I calculated up for the extra, extra large, or if you're just a taller person, then 19 repeats. All you want to do is to have something to go around your neck and come down the front of your body to the length you want. So I said about 19 repeats for that person, or the people that might like the longer style. This works for the shawl and the neck scarf, the neck shawl. The same working formula that you pick out according to about how many repeats will look good on you will work for both. I am doing the large to extra large, so I will work 17 pattern repeats. And my working formula will be, it starts out with and everyone will start out with a border of 4. You have 3 stitches. Now I'll just show you a little bit on mine, on this little sample. Of course, this sample is small. But, of course, a garter stitch border of 4 right there. You're going to need some stitch markers, of course. I have a little section of 3 stitches just to give separation, to keep the pattern and the border from running into each other, which I do all the time. Then I will repeat the pattern. It's a multiple of 10, and then at the end of the count you add 3 more stitches, and I will have 17. These points I will wind up, for my size, I will have 17 points. And so my total to cast on, I give the cast on number and everything. If you, like I said, click back to the beginning so you can see the information page. I had 187 stitches for my original shawl and the neck shawl. They're both the same. 187 stitches to cast on, which is a good number because it's an odd number, which I tried to do on purpose, so that when I go into the 1-by-1 ribbing at the top, I don't have to add a stitch or subtract a stitch or anything. It's already an odd number, and it works out just great. So all the stitches are in place. All the working formulas are in place to give you some help so that you can just go through your stash, find you a 36 or 48 inch number, US number 9, so that you can just cast on and you can just go to work. Okay, so on this sample I'm ready to go. Of course, you will be starting, you will cast on and you will be starting on row 1. I had to go ahead and do some rows so that I will have something to hold on to and to take you to the next section. So let's get started. I will call out the pattern as I normally do, and we will start to work. Row 1 is the right side of this argyle lace pattern. And row 1 on the screen, it reads, knit 1, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, slip 1, knit 2 together, knit 3, yarn over, and repeat. And at the last repeat, you will end with a knit 2. So you would have replaced, as you go on this, looking at your formula, even before you do the first row, and you cast on your stitches, you will put your markers in according to your formula, your working formula. Isn't it nice to just work with that one line? You're just working with that one line and the pattern on the screen. So I've already set in my markers for my, like I said, my border and all the other markers. Have something maybe different or bright so you'll know when you get to the pattern. So again, I am on row 1 on the right side. I have set in my markers. When I cast on, and according to the formula, I'm beginning to work. It is knit 4 on the formula as a 4-stitch border on each end. Knit 4 stitches. Slide my marker. The next 3 stitches are knit. They're just filler stitches to keep the pattern from running into the border. That's all. Now, here's my pattern, because I have a different marker here. And again, row 1 says knit 1, knit 1 again. Now yarn over, knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, knit 3. 1, 2, 2, and 3. All right, now yarn over. Now we need to repeat, and the repeat part of the pattern of this row is knit 1, yarn over, knit 3. It's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Slip 1, knit 2 together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, knit 3, yarn over, and continue to repeat. And the repeat again is knit 1. Of course, you have a long row, and I'm doing this little short one. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Slip 1. Now, as we start to work this pattern, if you're new, I want you to pay attention to where all of these, on every working row, you're going to have a slip 1, knit 2 together. Some rows have more than one. If you would just learn to eye check where you are, just always, so this is 1, I'm going to slide this back. It says slip 1, so I'm going to slip that stitch, and I will always notice that it's where these slip stitches will line up, and it's always that stitch and the one after it, so that you will know instantly if you have made a mistake or that you left something or didn't do a yarn over. So I'm going to slip 1, knit the next 2 stitches together, reach back and lift the slip stitch over. Now they're lined up. Can you see the stitches? Can you see that, how it's lined up? That is a good place, especially if you're new, to start learning how to eye check as you knit. Alright, the next thing I need to do after that is knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now, yarn over. Now, after you do your long row, I've got a short row. I have 2 stitches left, and you can look on the screen, it says end with knit 2. So, make sure that yarn over is there though. Yarn over, and then knit 2. 1, 2, and that will end row 1. And of course, you just knit to the end. Those 3 stitches on this end, slide the marker. Your 4-stitch border we knit on every row. And this is how it looks as you're working. Now, row 2, row 4, and row 6 are, of course, as we turn the work, the purl side. And this is one reason I chose it. It's just a nice way to kind of rest. The only thing you have to remember is to knit the first 4 stitches and the last 4. Everything in between the marker for the pattern, you just simply purl. So, I will see you back at row 3. Okay, so I've up to row 3, our next pattern row, and I have knit over to my pattern, and row 3 reads knit 1, knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, knit 2, yarn over, knit 1, and you will end with knit 2. Now, on this pattern, because you know I try to give you the heads up, there's a lot of knit 2s together and yarn overs. The pattern is shifting. If you notice on row 1, there was a knit 1 and then a knit 1. On this row 3, there's a knit 1 and then we knit 2. That means the pattern is moving over 1 stitch. But there are certain things that will still line up, like this main. You see that main line of yarn overs? I'm sorry, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over. They will line up, but some of this other will not on this row, and I don't want you to be thrown, especially if you're new. There's nothing wrong with the there's nothing wrong with the row. So you're going to have to trust, just like I had to, because several times I thought, well, what have I done wrong? But it moves over a stitch. So let's go. All right, let's trust. It's on the screen. I have done it several times. It is correct. knit 1. So I've knit 1. All right, now it says knit 2. 1, 2. Yarn over. Now knit 2. 1, 2. Now slip 1, and I can eye check and see that the next 2 stitches are in the right place because it makes that line of slip stitches. Knit 2 stitches together. Now reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Okay, now knit 2. 1, 2. Yarn over. Knit 1. Right? Now it says repeat. Now you're going to have to trust the pattern is correct. Knit 2. 1, 2. Yarn over. Knit 2. 1, 2. Keep going. Now I'm up to the slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, and I can see it takes 3 stitches to do that stitch combination, and there it is. So slip 1. Now knit the 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, and it lines up with that main row of pass slip stitch over. Next thing, knit 2. 1, 2. Yarn over. Knit 1. All right, here we go again. Let's repeat. Knit 2. 1, 2. Yarn over. Knit 2. 1, 2. Okay. Eye check. Slip 1. Knit 2 together. Reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Okay, knit 2. 1, 2. Now yarn over. You have a knit 1. And then it says end with knit 2. There's 2 stitches left, so I knit 1 and 2. And you made it through row 3. Okay, now, of course, just knit off the rest of the row. Slide that last marker and knit the last 4 stitches too. All right, we're coming up to row 5. Row 5 will be your test. There we go. Trust the row. It is correct. Row 4 is the wrong side. I will see you back at row 5. Please watch your yarn overs. Well, I finished row 4, and I am just following my working formula and knitting the stitches to get over to my pattern. And I see my pattern, see the marker. Now we are up to row 5. Now I'm going to lay my work down for a minute. Okay, if you made it this far, good job. All right. All right, now row 5, it's kind of, it flips stitches. So I want you to trust the pattern on the screen. And as I read it, and then we'll work it, and you'll see. Row 5 reads, knit 1, knit 2 together. That's different. Now, in parentheses, it says, yarn over, knit 1. Now do it again. Yarn over, knit 1. You had to do that 2 times. You notice that. Then, slip 1, knit 2 together. Pass the slip stitch over. Stop. All right, the next sequence is in parentheses. Now watch, it's just the opposite than the ones before it in parentheses. It reads, knit 1, yarn over. knit 1, yarn over. You had to do it twice. Then slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over. And once you've done all the repeats at the end of the row, instead of doing a slip 1, knit 2 together, you will end with a knit 2 together, knit 1. Whew. If you're going to make a mistake, it's going to be on this row. You know, Jay likes to give you a head up. I'm telling you, I don't know what. I couldn't get the rhythm of this one. I kept falling asleep or something. But once I did finally get it, it was easy. But if you're new or you feel like, oh, Jay, wait a minute. I think I lost my place. It's kind of hard to keep your eye in the right place. But we're going to do it. I did it. You can do it too. So we're going to take it together, stitch by stitch. Like I say, you're doing a long row, so you'll be able to get into a rhythm as you're doing it. And of course, you'll be doing it at home, you know, by yourself, and I won't be talking, interrupting you. All right, so here we go. It says knit 1. Now knit 2 stitches together. All right, now yarn over, knit 1. Do it again. Yarn over, knit 1. Now, slip 1. Eye check. Right now, just stop and eye check. Oh yeah, I can see where all those past slip stitch overs line up. You slip the first stitch, now knit the next 2 stitches together. Reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Do they line up? Yes. Stop. The next sequence is knit 1, yarn over. So let's go. Knit 1 and then yarn over. Again, knit 1, then yarn over. All right. Now slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, pass the slip stitch over. Now we go back to the repeat. And look at the repeat on the screen. In parentheses, with the little star above it, it says yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Slip 1, eye check, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over. Stop. The next parenthesis says knit 1, yarn over. Knit 1, then yarn over. Slip 1, knit 2 together. Reach back and pass the slip stitch over. And repeat. Back to the front of the line again. And the repeat is yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Slip 1. Knit 2 together. Eye check. Knit, that's right, they line up. Knit 2 together. Reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Stop. The second parenthesis says knit 1, then yarn over. Knit 1, then yarn over. All right, now if I'm at the end of my row, you will have a long row, and you will continue to keep repeating, and when you get to the last parentheses and you get ready, you'll do the, let me back up just a little bit. Knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. So instead of doing a slip 1, knit 2 together, you will jump over to the last 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and it says knit 2 together, and then knit the last stitch. On that last repeat, you drop the slip 1, knit 2 together, and pick up the knit 2 together, knit 1. Trust it on the screen. It's correct. Then knit across. I'm telling you. I double checked before I typed it out on the computer. I checked it because I kept falling asleep. But follow the screen, follow the pattern, and you will come out correct too. Now, of course, I have to do row 6, which is the wrong side, and that's the purl side. Now, well, let me just go ahead and, okay, let me just tell you this. So I will do row 6, and then I will go into stockinette. I will simply start knitting on the front, always keeping the 4-stitch border. You knit on every row. I will knit on the front side, purl on the back. Knit on the front, purl on the back. On my original, once I even went and steamed it a little bit, just so I can see about how many inches. My 4 repeats came to just a little over 5 inches. So 5 inches I repeated the pattern 4 times, and it came to about 5 inches. So I did an extra 10 inches for the stockinette. If you're going to have 6 inches down here, you'll probably have to have about 12 inches of stockinette. So I will work a little bit in stockinette, and then I will come back and we will talk about the 1x1 ribbing at the top. Now, wasn't that easy? Easy, wheezy, peasy. Oh, I can't wait till y'all be sending me message. Jay, this pattern is wrong. Something is wrong. It's not. I just did it for you. But just think of how pretty it's gonna look. Okay, let's see what we can get done, and you're doing a great job. I'm telling you, this is skill building. It's training your eye. It's training your mind to be in a rhythm, to know that certain stitches follow a sequence. And the more you kind of get into it, the better it will be, and the more relaxed you will be. All right, I will see you back. I've got to do row 6, which is the purl side, and then I will do a few rows of stockinette, just so I'll have it on here, and then we'll go into the 1x1 rib. Okay, so I've finished just enough of the stockinette just to have on this little sample, and now I've just finished knitting the right side row of the stockinette, so I'm going to turn the work. And now I'm on the purl side, and this is where I'm going to start my 1x1 ribbing. Because it's pretty much how I start when I'm at the bottom of a sweater. So it's the same idea. So I'm on the purl side, and you've knitted up however many inches you need on your stockinette, either 10 inches or 12 inches or whatever. And so now I'm on a wrong side row, and I'm going to stop now and start my 1x1 rib for the top of this shawl, the collar, the neck. So, of course, I've taken off my markers and everything, and I'm ready to start. Now, all the cast ons that I gave as, that I thought would help you were odd numbers. So all I need to do is the first stitch and the last stitch. Just double check on there. Yeah. The first stitch and the last stitch of every row I'm going to knit. You just set those aside. They're not in the count of the 1x1. The first and last stitch. Now, some people slip their stitches. I knit the first and last stitch. So I'm simply going to knit this stitch on the purl side. Now, I want to start my 1x1 ribbing in the next stitch. And I want to start it with yarn in front with a purl 1, then yarn in back, knit 1. Then just simply purl and knit. Purl and knit. Now, you will continue, like I said, because you have a long row, you've got 100 and some stitches. You will continue across until you come to the very last, the 2 stitches. I started with a purl on the ribbon, so I will end with a purl, and then the last stitch I will knit. Does that make sense? Just like when I start the bottom of a sweater. Okay, so now we will continue across the row, working in our 1 by 1 ribbing, and I will see you back. I'll do a few more rows because I want to show you how to do the little crochet edge. And guess what? We'll be almost done. So now let's just remember and read your stitches. That's a knit, purl, sew, knit, and purl, and continue across your row. See you back in just a minute. Okay, so I just finished. I wanted to make sure, just as I turn. So I just finished that first row of ribbing. So now I'm on the front side. And you just simply stay in pattern, reading your stitches. The first and last stitch, either you knit or slip. They are not in the ribbing. Okay, so I knit my first and last stitch. So there's 1 stitch I knit. Now I start the ribbon. Whatever the stitch is, that's where I start. It's the front side, and you may not be able to see it this close, but mine, I'm on at front, so it's going to be knit 1, purl 1, knit, and purl. Knit and purl, knit and purl. Okay, some people kept saying they got confused, but I don't, like I said, all you have to do is just remember the first and last stitch. They're not part of the ribbing. They're just edge stitches. They're just a stitch you knit or slip on every row. Then you read the stitches. On the front side, it's going to be a knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. On the purl side, it'll start with a purl 1, knit 1. Just the opposite. So I'm going to do a few more rows, and then, like I said, then I can show you just a cute little crochet or little accent. So you will need, I like to use these little pointy crochet hooks for things like this because they're quick and they can go into the stitch real quick and real easy. So this is a G or an H. Just find a small one, and I'll show you how to do it after I do a few, just a few more rows of the ribbing. Okay, see you back in just a minute. Okay, on my little sample, I have done some of the ribbing that will represent the collar. Of course, this is just a little small sample. Now, you go ahead and you bind off once you reach, and I did my 1 by 1 ribbing at least, I think, let's see, let's just take a measurement. Maybe I should just, oh, okay, I went a little over 5 inches. Maybe I better just measure it again, because Jay may have done more. Nope, it was over 5 inches. About 5, just a little over 5 inches for the collar to roll back and to look nice. Of course, you can go, you can do more. You're larger or you just need more. It's just up to you. But I've just decided, okay, so on your piece that you've done 5 inches of 1 by 1 ribbing, and now we're in the process of binding off. So you go ahead and bind off the stitches in pattern. That means you stay in the knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 rib pattern as you bind off, as you would normally do. So I'm just binding off these last few stitches. And then it's a purl, so now I knit one and then reach back and bind off. Oops, I dropped a stitch. There we go. Now I purl a stitch and I reach back and pull that stitch over and bind it off. And knit that stitch and then bind off. And of course the last stitch is the edge stitch, so I knit it and then reach and bind it off also. Voila! Now, normally we would snip the yarn, cut the yarn, and pull it through our loop. But this is where we're going to take our knitting needles out. We're done. We've bound off, and we're going to grab our crochet hook and simply turn the work. And now we're simply going to take this crochet hook, and I am going to chain right here, chain 4 chains starting right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you hold your knitting up on the edge, you know there's 2 strands, or that little V configuration, and we want to make sure that we stick our crochet hook under 2 strands. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, so 1, 2, because I can count those V's, 1, 2, and up under the next 2 strands of the, there you go, I reach up, pull a loop with the crochet hook, okay, and then I slip stitch it into the loop, into the stitch that was on the hook. And now I will continue. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it up on the edge just like this. I can see 1, 2, skip 2 stitches, go up under the next 2 strands of the next stitch, pull up a loop. I have 2 on the hook, pull the first one through the last one. That's just a slip stitch. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, this is just a small, I always use these little boy with the pointy heads because I can get them up under the stitch really well. Okay, so 1, 2, skip 2, go up under 2 strands, pull up a loop. Now pull the first loop through the last one, slip stitch it in, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold it up on the edge, 1, 2, skip 2, go under the next one, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, skip 2, under this one, and when you get to the end, because like I said, I didn't count, I didn't do any math for this, I just 1, 2, 3, 4, I just looked at it and kind of eyeballed it. So if you have to pull some back when you get near the end to fudge the last couple of these stitches, that's fine. 1, 2, skip 2, that's fine. You know that's how we do, how you do in crochet. 2, 3, 4. No word crochet. 1, 2, skip 2. This is just decoration, and I just thought it looked kind of pretty. Kind of made the ribbon. See? That's it. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then, of course, now on the right side, you can see a nice little edge. Everything is nice and neat. And if this was a real thing, which I will go ahead and now get the sample back. Let's see what we have. I'm done with that. And we have our, I won't try to put it all out maybe, but let's see, can I get a little bit of it back in order here? There we go. And then there we go. We have this pretty front edge, and we have the flounce, the pretty lace. Now I'm going to have to pull this camera back because you can't see that. So let me just pull it back while we just kind of talk and go over. here is, and I just love this color. Like I said, the more I work with the yarn, it got softer. Now it's very soft. I guess after I wash it, it will be very soft also. I don't know, but there's the collar. Here's the lace. Here's your beautiful Jay's Knit Remember the Good Times lace wrap. And along with that, the way I got this, the name for it, I was over at the Dollar Tree. I buy all of my cards at the Dollar Tree. Hey, they have beautiful cards, so. And I got this beautiful card. And I wasn't really trying to do anything necessarily for Valentine's Day. Let me zoom up a little bit, because I want you to see this. But I look whenever I'm in there, you know. I hate to go over there and just spend $1. So I look around. If I went for one thing, then, you know, you feel bad or embarrassed to stand in line for $1 since everything's $1. But I came across this beautiful card. And that really kind of like, oh man, that I could just see that as something for a wrap. It says Valentine's Day means remembering. With memories of all we've shared and things we've done together. Memories that warm the heart no matter what the weather. And it's so pretty. With wishes for your happiness today and all year through. And most of all, with love that's meant especially for you. So, until we meet again, this is Jay. This is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Wishing you happy knitting, happy Valentine's Day. And I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. And remember the good times. Okay, just a quick little insert. I forgot to show you when I bound off the one with the roll neck. This is more of a scarf. You know, I said like a neck shawl, but when I put it on, the weight of it, the lace, the roll at the neck, it is definitely a beautiful, beautiful wrap for your neck, a beautiful scarf. And here it is in all its glory. And look, I just had to finish it up with a little lace on the edge. And I'm telling you, that really, now I'm going to kind of pull it around because I can't get this whole thing on camera because it's long, but I will bring it up like this. Maybe I can lace some of it up here and bring it around. Oh, that looks good. Let's see, can I drape it that way? Pull the fringe down. Now let's see what's on the camera. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Got a little... Is that not pretty? Let's see, can I adjust the camera just a little bit? Just a little. Isn't that pretty? And with the beautiful lace on each edge, I thought, oh, you know what? I need to go back and put that so you can see it. Of course, I have some pictures, but look at that. Now, this was out of that Heartland, and it was Grand Canyon. So it looks real wintry, and it looks really, but it's a very fluid type yarn when you knit it up on this size 9, and that's what they call for. But it's very fluid, look. And I just thought the fringe at the bottom would be just a little extra. And see, now you know, you could wear it, not just straight around your neck. Oops, I done got something. Oh, I just pulled it. Okay, I got to put that back. Okay, but you can also wear it. I don't know how much on camera this is, but I'll try. And then wrap it in the front and around. And your fringe should come down, and you'll have a nice, beautiful neck hugging scarf. Look at that. So, if you're still new to knitting, and you says, well, I'm not going to try to go for the shoulder shawl, where I'm doing not only the lace. If I can get through the lace, Jay, I think I can handle stockinette, which is where when you knit on the front and purl on the back, that's stockinette, and that's all you do. You do that for at least 10 inches, and then just bind off on a right side row, on a knit row. You just bind off all the stitches, see? And it automatically rolls on its own. You don't have to do anything. Then, on this edge, on each edge, I simply, you know how you, whatever you measure your fringe around, I use an old CD case, and I put 4 strands for each. 4 strands, and then you fold it in half, and you take a crochet hook and you put your little fringe on all the way, even on the edge. It's going to roll up, and when it rolls up, it just looks even prettier. When it rolls up like that, it just looks even prettier. I'm going to come in just a little bit. And now you have this beautiful, beautiful. So, if you're not ready for the full shawl, this, I'm telling you, this is going to be a knockout. You're going to want to make some more of these, I promise you. And you know what? The more you make, the more you'll be comfortable in knitting that little simple lace, the Argyle lace stitch. Now, wasn't that a great idea from Jay? I just want to put that in there. All right, I got to get this video to my son so he can get it up. All right, see ya.